Well, hello everybody, this is Richard here. It's Wednesday the 18th of August 2010 and I'm having a few days holiday from today until the end of next week and go back to work on the 31st of August. So I've been doing a few jobs around the house and I've got a full list of things I've got to catch up on. One of them I'd like to mention a colleague of mine at the office, Roger, who has been helping me in that he supplied me with a set of roofing nails because the garage suffered with some youths getting on it a few years ago, I have to say, and the edge, the very edge of the sort of corrugated concrete was broken, and so I was trying to find a way around that without having to change the roofing sheets on that part of the garage. And somebody came up with the idea of just saying, well, why don't you just lay another piece of corrugated roofing sheet over the top and then nail that down. Well, I got hold of a piece of roofing sheet from work, and that was surplus, an old piece, and then of course I had trouble getting nails, and Roger very kindly came in the office with some nails for me, so I'd like to thank him very much, and I've now completed that job. It's taken me most of the afternoon because I've concreted the edges as well where the water was trying to get into the brickwork, so the garage is now as good as new, really, and Mondi, my Ford Mondeo, is very happy because he's in a garage which is doubly sound. It was okay before. There was luckily no dampness getting in, but all the light areas that you could see through the side have now been blocked up. Now, getting back to the Garrard SP25 MK2, the Plinth, I'm just sort of update you this afternoon on how things are going. So I'm going to take Mr. Panasonic off his perch, and if I don't push the pause button, like I've just done, I won't have to repeat the whole of the last 3 minutes. Anyway, here we go, just hold on a second. There's always the interesting bit where I have to turn the camera around. Okay, right, now you will remember from the last posting, I suppose this is part 3 really, I was rubbing down the all the sides of this box, I suppose. This is the front face, so this is the bit that you'll be seeing most of when the record player is inserted back in here. Now what I've done is I've actually used some sandpaper, so I've used the coarse one, and then I've gone and used the medium one, and then finally I've ended up with the very fine glass paper, and so I've got this really smooth edge on there now, which is really great. And I've also filled in some of the areas that were looking a bit damaged, the corners, with some wood filler, so that's looking really good. So if we turn this round the right way, there we go. So in fact, it's looking quite good, apart from, of course, there's no polish on it. And as you know, I'm going to put edging around here, which is these bits of wood here, which I've now stained. So it's now in the state of readiness for polishing. And I'm going to use some very light teak oil on there just to bring it up, because it's one had to be very careful when rubbing down. This is only a veneer, it's not solid, so you can see it's a type of ply, so you've got to be quite careful about how much you take off, and you shouldn't have to take too much off anyway, because of course it's only light marks, and just to take the polish off to get it back to its raw state. Now the bit that normally or will be fitting into there, the centre, the motorboard, I suppose you would describe it. This has been sitting under a few records in that steel case that I told you about, because this edge here was actually dipping quite a bit. It's now better. It's not 100% as I'd want it, but I have actually put the record player back on it, and that's sitting over here, ready for reinsert. It's all ready to go now. And also including a new RCA cable, which I've got ready to plug in. That's a 1.5 metre, so I've got a nice length there, along with the mains cable, which has been replaced. So that's all ready to go. Now what I've decided to do, rather than just paint it again with this black, I'm going to use some baize. So here we go, so I've got this rather nice blue baize, and I'm going to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put this piece of the motorboard, I'm going to stick it on the base, and then I'm going to cut out the centrepiece and also where the holes are, and in that way I'll get a nice smooth finish. And there is, I was a bit concerned that perhaps I wouldn't be using it to its full advantage, but in fact there is quite a bit of deck. You can see the line here where the deck probably fits, so that's where it probably fits in. So you do see quite a bit of it, and it will give it a nice finish as well, because with the teak I thought this blue I thought goes quite well, and as I've had this kicking around the workshop for some time. So I thought I'd do that. The other thing I've done today is I've taken off the bottom, and I've taken off the little rubber feet, which are getting a bit tired. I'm going to get some of those from Plinth probably when I go to town next and pedal into Maidstone and get those. So and get those fixed up, because I discovered that one of them probably wasn't the right type anyway, and that should sort of almost finish the job. So with any luck, by the time I do the next posting, number 4 I suppose, things should be at an advanced stage. But I just thought I'd update you about what it's looking like at the moment, and then we'll see how we get on for the next stage. Anyway, thanks for watching, and speak to you all very soon.